The nation's highest court facing historic change as Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is set to be confirmed by the Senate this afternoon.
That's right. 47 GOP senators, including our next guest, will vote against her confirmation. South Carolina GOP Senator Tim Scott is here to explain why. Senator, I want to get your comments on why you're not voting for the judge, but I wanted you to first react to Joy Reid's MSNBC's tweet. She said, all accuracy here, not surprised by anything Tim Scott does. He let Lindsey Graham and the sheriff dog walk him and destroy police reform after pretending to work on it. And now he'll go along with Lindsey's barking dog racism against Judge Jackson because he's Tim Scott. Senator.
Good morning to all y'all. Let me just say this. What is so offensive about what Joy is saying is that a black man cannot think for himself. I have to follow somebody else. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but it reinforces the liberal elite's approach to minorities who will not fall in line and do what they tell us to do. There are millions of Americans who happen to be black, who want to think for themselves, who will think for themselves, but the power of the liberal elite wants to attack us like vicious dogs because they do not want anyone standing up opposed to what they are doing, leading our country in the wrong direction. It is vile, it is offensive, and we should stop allowing the liberal media to push these stories by their hosts that want one thing and one thing only: progressive liberal policies that make it harder for African Americans, not easier. That's why President Biden's numbers in the black community and the Hispanic community are going down, 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 because we can see with our own eyes what the policies and the principles of the left are doing to us, not for us. But you can help bring people like Wesley Hunt and John James behind me, bring the cavalry to rescue by going to votetimscott.com. I need your support to defend against this lack of common sense, this hypocrisy on the
Senator,
left. If we do more of that, we'll be in a better shape.
I hate to step on you, but yet you're right. You offered amendments to the Democrats to get police reform done. They decided not to go through that. But why specifically are you not voting for the judge for the Supreme Court?
It's a very simple answer. I did not vote for her for a lower court because I believe that her judicial philosophy is inconsistent with what is in the best interest of our judiciary. Can you imagine me then coming back and changing my mind on a more important, the most important seat in the judiciary? The Supreme Court of the United States. It's not Biden's Supreme Court, it's America's Supreme Court. The number of her cases that have been overturned only reinforces the fact that this requires a deeper look. And the deeper I look, the more I realize that her judicial philosophy is antithetical to mine. It's a really simple answer.
Senator, I know you and Lindsey Graham, both of our senators, have said they're not going to vote for her. They're voting no. This is a Democrat for a Democrat on the Supreme Court. But how progressive is she compared to where the court is now? Should we be concerned?
I think if you are concerned about activist judges, you should be concerned. If you're concerned about someone who uses their position to reinforce a progressive agenda, we should be concerned. Those are the issues that most concern me about this appointment. She is a nice person. She is well educated, but her judicial philosophy, not who she is, but her ideology is what we should focus on. She represents herself incredibly well. I think she was reasonable in our conversation together. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking for someone to have a Coca-Cola with. I'm looking for someone who will rule in favor of America's future, and I don't see that in this judge.
So, Senator, you saw Cory Booker get all emotional when some of the questions got tough, and he said it's going to be a great moment because African-American women have to overcome so much to get to this level. Do you have a similar emotion? I know you're not going to vote for her, but do you think in any way this is groundbreaking for you in the African-American community?
Well, there's no doubt, Brian, that the fact of the matter is that she would be the first African-American female on the court. It does speak volumes to America's progress and the evolution that we're seeing in the country, and we should all celebrate that. But we should stop and pause for just a minute and ask ourselves, when Then Senator Biden had a chance to make sure that the court continued to have minority representation. What did he do?
Sure.
He said to Clarence Thomas, no way, no how, not on my watch. He did everything in his power to make sure that the court that he now is concerned about diversity would have been completely white. That kind of hypocrisy has to be brought to the surface so that we understand when they're talking about the future or when they're just talking about politics. They're talking politics, they're talking elite progressives, they're not talking about the literal future of America and the diversifying of our court. They're talking about embedding in concrete a progressive view of what America should be versus the view of conserving the core principles that undergirded American prosperity and human flourishing the world over because of the United States of America.
Senator, it's such a good point, and we appreciate you coming on to explain. I just wonder, with your colleague, Mitt Romney, you started it off by saying you could not vote for her for the Supreme Court if you didn't vote for her at a lower court. He didn't vote for her at the lower court, but now he's voting for her now. Why do you think he decided to do that? Have you talked to him?
Well, Lawrence, I have not spoken to Mitt Romney about his decision. I can't imagine why he has made the reversal that he has. The way I look at it is this is a simple question. If I thought she was not qualified at a lower level, it's really hard for me to come to the decision. And listen, I do think history plays a role in so many people's decisions, and I understand that. I just cannot allow that to be my decision for the highest court and the most important democracy in all of the world. It is just too important.
It's a consistent view.
All right.
Senator, thanks so much for joining us.
Senator, how about those Gamecocks? The women, the basketball team.
Well, you know what? Let's give a shout out to the Lady Gamecocks.
Yes.
I will say Dawn Staley has done a fabulous job. I'm looking forward to seeing her go for another 10 in a row. So that's my hope for the Lady Gamecocks. Go Cox.
Yeah, to catch up to you, Conch, you'll have to.
That's what we say down in South Carolina.
Go get him, Senator.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Senator.
Correcting that.
I know. A pastor got off the plane at the Columbia Airport and saw that on a billboard, and he said, "This town really needs me." Instead of Gamecocks, you can say something else. Right. All right, thank you, Senator.
Yes.
All right,
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.